Hello and welcome to the speaking part of the Elephant IELTS course. The IELTS speaking test is a test of communication, and in this part you have around 14 minutes to show the examiner that you're able to communicate clearly and fluently in an English-speaking environment. It's a one-to-one interview between you and the examiner, and it's all recorded. There are 3 parts to the speaking test, and we'll look at them briefly at first and then in more detail. In this course you'll learn what to expect in each part of the test and how to prepare in order to get a high band score. The main thing to remember in any part of the test is to expand your answer. For example, if the examiner asks you, "Have you ever visited a street market?" Don't just say yes. That would not get you a good grade. The examiner is listening to you to see how much English you know, how much vocabulary, how much grammar, and if you can use different tenses to talk about the past, the present, and the future. As we said, there are 3 parts of the speaking test, and it's a live recorded interview between you and the examiner. Now we'll quickly go through each part of the speaking test to get an idea of what to expect, and then we'll look at each part in detail and how to get a high score in this part of the test. In part 1 of the speaking test, the examiner will check your ID and then ask you general questions about yourself and your interests. These are simple questions to make you get used to the text, to relax you and make you feel comfortable. The topics are all familiar topics, things that you come across in your daily life. They're the type of questions you would ask someone you meet for the first time at university or at work in order to get to know that person. For example, there may be questions about your home, your studies, your job, or your interests. When you meet someone for the first time at university or at work, what do you ask them? Where do you live? Where do you work? Do you like your job? What's interesting about it? What do you do in your free time? So you should relax and speak naturally, as if you were meeting a new person in a real-life situation. Now on to part 2 of the speaking test. This is called the long turn, as the examiner will give you a topic and you must talk about it non-stop for 2 minutes. He or she will give you a piece of paper and a pencil, and you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. Then you must talk about it for 2 minutes. Some candidates find this the most challenging part of the test. I mean, let's face it, who talks for 2 minutes non-stop about a historical building or a cafe every day? But don't worry about this now. We'll learn how to prepare for this later in the course. In part 3 of the speaking test, there's a discussion between you and the examiner about something related to part 2. For example, if in part 2 you talked about a teacher, in part 3 you may be asked more abstract questions about education or teaching. For example, questions such as, what are the qualities of a good teacher? Or, how has education changed over the years? In this part, the examiner may ask you what you think about certain topics, so you should be prepared to give your opinion and support it. As we said earlier, answering with short questions is not the way to get a high band score in speaking. You need to expand your answers.